From Tacoma to Redmond, 2 ladies, 2 cities, 1 fabulous podcast. Get ready for great laughs, real talk, and a dash of the Pacific Northwest size. This is the NCCR podcast with Kim and Amanda. Sick.
That sounded a little painful at the end. Just a little, like I thought we were going to have to resuscitate you.
Hey, ladies, how you doing?
Doing well.
It's good.
Thank you for that amazing introduction.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I kept it short this time.
You did. Short and
Just
pretty
got right
sweet.
to the point.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for that.
How was your weekend?
Fast.
Fast?
Yeah.
Well, get ready for this coming weekend.
I know.
Yeah.
I need to jump on it.
Oh, man. Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
But
How
Do
are
we,
we already
do we still need
here?
trunks? Trunks?
Probably. I feel like we always need more trunks, candy, volunteers.
Yeah. Come one, come all. I won't be there.
boo.
So,
Boo.
yeah, whatever.
Well,
I'm sure everybody will
I'll
get
be
over it.
there.
I'll be there. I'll be there.
Okay, off we go.
Okay.
Squirrel.
All right, ladies. Pastor Ryan came today.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the other day.
The other day.
Yes.
A different
with his
day.
Sermon.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, call to surrender.
Yeah.
God's will be done.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck with that, you people.
Oh,
God's will be done. I thought about you, Kim.
I'm sure you did, because that has been my sticky wicket for a very long time. You just learn the prayer, and then you're like, yeah, that's a great prayer. That's
Hey, won't you tell the audience how you skimmed that prayer?
yeah. Well, I get to "Thy will be done" part and just kind of because I wasn't ready to yield at that point.
mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because when we say His will be done, that's saying a lot.
It is.
It's saying a lot.
That's a big heart thing. That's a
Yeah.
big surrender thing.
Yes.
And
Definitely easier said than done.
and you don't get to say that if you're not actually willing to surrender to it.
Yeah.
So, but I think for me, when I was able to say that out loud and mean it, that's a changing experience, right? And it's something that you do every day. You don't just say it once and then you're good. You
Mhm.
have to allow yourself to yield to God's will every day
Mhm.
and surrender to it every day and get yourself out of the way of His plan for you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, in Matthew 16:24 through 25, he told his disciples, if anyone would come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. For whoever would save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will find it.
mm-hmm.
I think the older I get, the more I realize how intentional we're called to be
Mhm.
daily.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Daily.
a long list of intentionality.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And surrender is one of them. It's not easy for a whole lot of reasons.
Well, and He wants us to have an eternal perspective, right? Not just looking at the
Yes.
here and now and what about me? What about today?
Mhm.
And trusting that he's got a plan for us. His wisdom passes our understanding, and we can't do this on our own. We're not supposed to do it on our own, and He wants us to look through His lens, not ours.
Yeah. And I think there's a cost involved, right? Whether it's like comfort, control, preference, people don't easily want to give up their way of life.
Right.
And so that's a chunk of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was thinking through Acts 9 when Ryan talked about Saul, who becomes Paul, and how when we're first reading of Saul, he actually thinks that he's serving God in his fighting, right?
in his persecution
Yeah.
of his people.
Yeah. He actually thinks he's serving God and he's really fighting God.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, there's kind of two examples of surrender of that in that story. Not only does Saul surrender and become Paul, but we also see Ananias surrendering and doing what God calls him to do, which, you know, as a Jewish person, was to go to the person that's been persecuting them.
But Amanda, I was waiting for you to finish that. I think we can take a lesson from that today.
100%.
A lot of people thinking they're doing
Yeah.
the will of God, but they're really outside of the will of God.
Totally. Yeah.
Yep.
100%.
Well-
And I think there are times too when we are like those people you see dipping their foot in the pool. Like you have like a toe or a foot in, but you're not fully surrendered.
Yeah, just jump in already.
Just jump in. Just rip the Band-Aid off. No.
Fully submerged.
Yeah. I think we forget that on the other side of surrender is resurrection, right? We see that with Jesus, and we know that is what's going to be the case, but it is hard and scary too.
Well, and just
Let go and
for
trust.
fun, you know, what is the opposite of surrender? If you
Yeah.
think about it in that way with your personal walk with God, what does the opposite of surrender look like? If you're not surrendering, yielding to God, you're you're resisting, you're fighting it, you're opposed to it. The opposite of surrender is opposition,
Yeah.
continued opposition. And so if that's just being stubborn and dumb.
Yeah, I think we
It
see
just
it with
is.
Judas too, right? He never fully surrenders to God. He never fully gives his heart to Jesus, to God. He was there watching miracles. He watched Jesus walk on water. He literally learned directly from him.
Mm-hmm.
And we see, and I think that's why we have to be in a constant state of checking our heart.
Yeah.
And being connected.
And we've talked about that many times about how the disciples saw these things every day. They were living with Jesus. They were traveling. They were seeing the miracles. They were seeing all of this stuff, and it took them a long time to wrap their heads around it.
Yeah.
And so for us that don't have that face to face like they did, I mean, I I guess, you know, I want to give us all some grace because the struggle is real, right? I mean, these were people that saw Jesus daily and still couldn't get it right. And we need to really, really work hard to kind of get to that place where we're supposed to be. It's not easy. It is a daily choice, because we do have the choice to make. But, you know, I wrote down just a couple, how do you yield your control to God? What does that look like? And it's, you know, spiritual obedience, aligning your thoughts and actions with his teachings, giving up control, which I think is probably the hardest thing for folks to do, because I think it's scary. I think that folks envision standing on a cliff and just jumping off. I mean, that's frightening. But if you trust God to, I'm not suggesting you try that theory, but if you can get to the point where you have that same sensation, I'm just going to let it all go and give it all to God, because he's not going to let you fail. And then a life of trust. I mean, again, acting with faith and trust in particularly difficult times, because I think that's a lot of times when we blame God instead of seek him. When things are going sideways, why are you letting me go through this thing? And, you know, it's like, well, why not? This is how we learn to be obedient. He doesn't always say yes to us.
Yeah.
Sometimes he says, you know,
Not
something
now.
else,
Yeah.
not now. Yeah, maybe later, or sure, but first I want you to have another layer to add onto that.
Yeah.
So those are things then we can look back on and see where God's hand was, because that's always the easiest way to do that, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes in the moment it's tricky to see, but in hindsight it becomes so clear where God's hand was.
And I think the more intentional you are daily, as you said, the more intentional, the more you surrender, the more your focus will start to shift from this temporary to the eternal, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're reminded that we're being constantly renewed.
Mm-hmm.
Constantly, right? We're made new. And so I don't think that maybe it's supposed to be an easy thing, but it's just part of the process. It's part of the step. It's part of dying to yourself and letting go. It's probably part of the healing that of the things that you've been through, that you're walking through and going towards him and realizing that without him, we can't.
Yeah. And if it's a new thing for some folks, I mean, learning a new thing is difficult.
Yeah.
It's not, you can't just pick up a violin and start playing it. I mean, I can't. And, you know, if you want to be good, it's consistency over time, like all those things that you're trying to learn and make them part of your everyday life. That doesn't come without trial and tribulation. You know, you've got to stumble a few times to get it right. And that's okay. If that's your walk that you're on, that's perfectly fine, because nobody does it right.
I think too, we have a way as people of making it about our feelings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't feel peace with this, or this, you know, a lot of what we're gonna have to go and do or be called to is things that we don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's where the glory of God is going to be seen for others.
Yeah.
And so I just try and keep that in mind, that it's not always going to make sense, but it's maybe not supposed to. And that's that trust.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's that surrender.
yeah.
You know, I was just thinking about when we're talking about surrender, and when you see people praise and the hands are up. Now think about in law enforcement, they're like, praise, surrender. What's the first thing they tell you to do? Put your hands up, right?
Yeah.
And then the next thing, just comply. So think about that in the spiritual. We surrendering to him. If we only comply,
Yeah.
we will be better off.
Mm-hmm. It goes a lot easier if you comply.
Yeah.
It's true.
I mean, the other part I think of is there is no amount of striving that's in me that I'm going to do that's going to make me do the will of God. I mean, I could try really dang hard, put my best effort forward, and it's still not going to be what it needs to be. But I just think of how much greater it's going to be when you surrender. It's going to be beyond anything you can even imagine, even picture, even in the most creative of thinking.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I agree.
Far greater.
All right, Kim, you got any questions?
Well,
give them a good one.
does your lack of surrender of your will correlate with your faith in God?
Say it one more time.
Does your lack of surrender of your will correlate with your faith in God? If you say you're following Jesus, but you're not yielding to him daily, how do those play well together? I guess
There
that's
you
what
go.
I was trying to get there.
Chew on that one. All right, this wraps up the NCCR podcast. Tune in next week, because for now, we are out.